Hey, now. How you doing? I'm waiting for Mike Sims to come up here. I forgot I got Mills. All right. At this time, the mayor will call to order the regular city council meeting for 6 p.m. Tuesday, May the 13th of 2025. City Council Chambers, 201 East Nash Street, Terrell, Texas. Have here on the dais with us District 2, Donna Renee Anderson. District 4, Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem. And District 5, Phil Robinson, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem. On her way, but not here yet, will be District 3, Mayor Ronnie Velasquez. At this time, I'd like to ask for Pastor Johnny Dorsey to please come forward with Island Baptist Church to lead us in invocation. If you would, please rise, remain standing for our pledges. And Pastor, I got something for you before you leave, okay?
Let us bow our heads. Gracious, kind, and loving and forgiving Father, we come, we thank you for this day. God, we just thank you right now for this council. God, we lift up our city to you. God, we lift up our Father, we just lift up our mayor and the council. God, we just lift them up to you. We lift up our chief and the police department. We lift up the fire department. God, we lift up the city staff. And God, we lift up our city manager, God. We just lift them all up to you, praying your wisdom and guidance on them as they, Father, do the business of this city, this municipality. God, we're praying right now, God, that they be led, Father, to do things necessary to make our community and our city a better place. God, we give you all praise. We give you all glory. Right now, in Jesus' name, we do pray. Everybody said amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for all the work you do in the city, but especially in your District 3, where your church is.
Yes.
For those who don't know, Pastor will host a public meeting for residents in his community. Gives the police chief, myself, Councilwoman Velasquez an opportunity to meet with our citizens and visit and see what's on their minds. And thank you for all that you do. I should challenge coin.
Yes,
It's about building your legacy here in the city of Terrell, established in 1873, and then also about leading the way in the city of Terrell. Obviously you do that.
Yes.
So thank you for your
work. Yes, sir.
work.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Yes, it is an honor, too.
Oh, good.
Mayor.
Thank you.
It's an
Thank
honor
you.
to serve.
And his wife is with me too. I'm sorry. All right, next on the item is election business. Discuss and consider Resolution 2230, resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, accepting the election returns as certified by the Kaufman County election official and declaring the results of the general election held on May the 3rd of 2025 in Terrell, Texas, for the purpose of electing a mayor to serve a 3-year term. This will be handled by our City Secretary, Don Stahl.
Yes, sir. Mayor and council, the joint election was held on May 3rd, 2025 for the purpose of electing a mayor to serve a 3-year term. There was a total of 1,329 ballots cast, with Rick Carmona receiving 667, which was the majority. Therefore, under and by the virtue of the votes cast, Rick Carmona is hereby declared to be duly elected to the office of mayor to serve a term of 3 years and take the oath of office.
Thank you. Do we go down there? Do you have? Thank you. I'm gonna, I've got some family members. Sylvia, would you come forward? Stephanie, would you come forward? That's my. No, you are. This is my big sister. No, I'm the baby. I'm the baby. And Stephanie, thank you for coming. Thank you. Yes.
All righty, Mayor, you ready to take the
Yes.
oath? Okay, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Rick Carmona,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Mayor of the City of
of
Terrell,
Mayor of the City of Terrell,
Kaufman County, Texas,
Kaufman County, Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United
the
States
Constitution of the laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
and the charter and ordinances of the City of Terrell.
and the charter and ordinances of the City of Terrell.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Mayor.
So I'm honored to serve in my third and final term as mayor of the city of Terrell. I've taken the oath of office for this city 5 times and really appreciate all the support that the community has given me and my family, the city of Terrell, over the years. Today's very special. 1 year ago today, my older brother passed away. So I know he's looking down with mom and dad and everyone, and really appreciate that. Our next item on the agenda is mayor and council community recognition and events. I'll start out with a proclamation that I have for the police department. Chief? Okay. So I like to brag that Terrell is fortunate enough to have some of the best officers, not only in the county, but in the state of Texas, and I would even argue in all of the United States. You know that you have my support. I tell you that all the time, but all of these guys, all of these individuals here on the dais, each one of the council members to a person appreciates and knows the hard work that you do for our city. So this is a proclamation. It's from the office of the mayor of the city of Terrell, and it reads, whereas National Police Week honors the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy, and whereas approximately 750,000 law enforcement officers serve in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Terrell Police Department, and whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, more than 26,959 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and have been killed in the line of duty, including 3 members of the Terrell Police Department. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., and whereas 282 names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 148 officers killed in 2024, bringing the total number to 25,067. And whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, the 37th Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th of 2025. And whereas May the 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Now, therefore, I, Rick Carmona, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor and on behalf of the Terrell City Council, do hereby proclaim May the 11th through the 17th of 2025 as National Police Week in the city of Terrell, and ask all citizens to join me in publicly saluting the service of our local law enforcement officers and those serving in communities across the nation. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the corporate seal of the city of Terrell, Texas, to be affixed this, the 13th day of May of 2025. Gentlemen, ladies, thank you very much for your service.
Ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Y'all come around to the front.
I'll be in the back. I'll be in the back.
Chief.
Uniforms in the front. That's okay. On tiptoe.
Thank you very much. Be safe out there. Thank you. Be safe. Yeah. Be safe out there. Thank you. Be safe. Thank you. Yes. Now, again, this is mayor and community recognition and events portion of it. And I know this individual said we're not going to do anything special, but I do want to recognize him for his hard work and service to this community and to the city of Terrell. Mr. Sims, thank you for all that you've done for the city of Terrell. We certainly appreciate you. Best of wishes. So publicly, I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you. And as we move forward, we have our interim, Mark Mills, here, who is going to step up in the role. We have very high expectations of Mr. Mills, from which I'm sure you're going to do just fine. We look forward to working with you. Does anybody have any comment? Or
I'd like to say the same to Mike Sims. We go way back, way before I was council material. We had a lot of chats, spats, and arguments, but we always left the room civil and with the understanding of our sides. And I want to, again, say we appreciate your years of service to this community. Thank you.
I also want to bid a farewell to Mike and a not so welcome or re-welcome to Mark Mills. But I appreciate Mike taking me under his wing as a newly elected council member. You think you know a lot when you're running for office, and the community expects a lot of you, which is rightfully so. But when you come on board, you really learn that, this works like a corporation, the city. So whether it's from HR to public services, water, streets, et cetera, there's so much to learn, and we really depend on all of our directors, who are the experts, and our city manager and other experts. So I appreciate all the guidance and all of the learning and history lessons, and wish you the best, and looking forward to working with Mark as well.
cool.
17 years, is that right, Mike? How many people put in 17 years of service to a city? It's pretty impressive, and it's admirable, and we thank you so much, Mike, for your dedicated service to Terrell. You've made a gigantic impact. I don't think anyone would dispute that. Your vision has been very appreciated, and the knowledge that you've shared has been very appreciated as well. We thank you so much and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Good luck in your new role.
I haven't known you as long as everybody else, but I have enjoyed the engagement. I'm going to bless you from numbers 6, 24 through 36. I would speak it in Hebrew, but I don't. I'll do it in English. The Lord bless you and protect you. The Lord's face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and bring to you peace.
All right. Now, yes, please.
If you're going to start talking about me, I'm going to also have to say thank you. I will really limit my comment to say that I have really enjoyed and, yes, been blessed by everybody on council. We came together emotionally in a big way related to the murder of Jacob Candenoza, and I will never forget some of the things that you guys did behind the scenes. It cannot be questioned that you guys have a passion that runs deep, deep, deep and strong for all the staff here, and the way that y'all supported staff on the inside of the organization during that period of time, and then doing some other really important staff events. I just want to thank everybody on council for that. That means the world to us. I would also say that I mean very sincerely what I put in one of my little closing comments that Allison was kind enough to put into the press release, and that I do feel like I've graduated from the University of Community. This is an amazing town, and the depth to which community is taken seriously here in this city is outstanding. And you guys should be so very proud of such a wonderful city. I came here with no expectation to stay for 17 years, and I feel like I got a PhD in what it means to really be a community, and that is so, so rare. And hold it, tend it, take care of it, because God's blessed you with it, and it is unusual. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you, not only to the mayor and council and Mark and everybody, but to the entire city of Terrell. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Also want to take a moment and thank our K-Kids. I guess they think the mayor and the council are going to the beach for the summer. We're not going to get any work done. But they put together a package. I don't know if y'all got to see that. Wasn't that fun? Huh? And so I know Amara wants to get a photo, but we'll do that after the meeting. The water gun, I can see Phil and his son chasing each other around the yard with that water gun. But we want to say thank you to them, the K-Kids. Every year they step up, and you know, I think I've said this before, but that's Patty Yoakum helping them buy the gifts and get them to us. So we want to say thank you. Really appreciate that. Next item on the, does anybody else have any community recognitions or events they would like to speak about?
I just want to say, I'm always going to say something about our employees that I never see, that most of us never see. I just want to say thank you to the employees of the city of Terrell, to the ones who work in City Hall, to the ones out on the lower 40. Glenn, I call your department the lower 40. The men and women who work for the city, I want to make sure that you know how much I appreciate you and the work that you do. And I want to make sure you all are all right with your families, with yourselves. Always remember to count to 10, sometimes to an undisclosed number. But know that I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Mayor,
Yes.
I do want to acknowledge we have board members here today, like Stephanie and Jessica and Leonard. I don't know if I can missing anybody. Sometimes I'm a little short back here and can't see everybody back there. But I also want to recognize, since there's not specifically a like a speaking portion, although community members are able to speak during hear remarks from visitors, which will follow this section, but I want to acknowledge all of those in the room who are here for the naming of the facilities and the parks for Charles L. Phillips Sr., Ms. Loretta Hickman Gibson, who I have had the pleasure of working with previously and adored her, and also E.P. Shaw Memorial. So thank you to all who are here today in support and really in memory of all those community members.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman. So also on the, we have Juneteenth celebrations that are coming up. Councilwoman, do you have anything that you would like to, is it a 4-day?
It will be a 4-day event this year, June 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So if you guys don't have anything to do, come out with your family. Very family-friendly fun and a safe environment and a bunch of love for community. And we share and we laugh and we have a good time.
That's at Breezy Hill.
At Breezy Hill Park, 351 New Hope Street.
Okay, good. Thank you, Councilwoman. Then lastly, this weekend we have Run for the Wall. That's where the riders will come in and meet at Brookshire's parking lot this Sunday, May the 18th. This is a motorcycle ride or rally, or I'm not sure what you would call it. Tons of motorcycles, I know that. Again, it'll be this Sunday, May the 18th, in Brookshire's parking lot, and that's at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. If you're available to come out, I know the kids enjoy that.
Yes, and also, I wanted to also add a memorial complex for Mr. Brady Berry. My son used to play soccer, and they had a tournament years ago in his honor, so we also want to thank those representatives as well this year.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is to hear remarks from visitors. We do have a participant. Jessica, would you like to come forward, please?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First of all, I'd just like to take a breath. Very excited. Congratulations, sir. Excited for the next 3 years for sure. My name is Jessica King. I live at 209 Westmore Avenue, apartment 202. I am the current administrator for the Terrell Heritage Museum. I currently sit as chairman on the facilities naming committee, and I volunteer at the animal shelter, and I will be speaking on behalf of the 6.7 agenda item today. So this month actually marks my 2-year anniversary as a citizen of Terrell officially. So very excited for the first 2 years I've been here and very excited to see what the next 10 to 20 look like. I've had the opportunity to work with each of you one-on-one, and I've also had the opportunity very recently to work with the community on a very close level as we look at naming these facilities and honoring these individuals who I unfortunately did not have the pleasure of knowing. However, I've heard the stories and very well deserved. So I appreciate and I want to thank you, sir, for the accolades at the previous meeting. I was not able to attend, but I did hear them. I would like to extend those accolades to the staff at the Pet Adoption Center or shelter. Ryan and Philip and Anita are absolutely instrumental in keeping that organization moving forward, and only under their leadership, direction, and vision have we been able to make the strides we have the last 2 months. In the last 2 months, I have become insanely involved. As many of you know, I get passion projects. If you've been to the museum lately, that's one of them. My newest passion project is the Facilities Naming Committee and the Animal Adoption Center. So the strides we've been able to make are only because of them. I work solely for them under their direction and guidance and leadership. And I want to give them accolades because, and I'm not going to cry, I promise. In the last 3 weeks, we have had the least intakes and the lowest headcount we have ever had in that shelter. At the Jubilee, we adopted 5 of the 5 dogs. The following weekend, we only had 1. We barely got her out of the car from the groomer, and she went home. So it's the proactive work those guys and Anita and the volunteer staff do. We adopted 1 out today to Trailer Furniture. Her name's Lola. She's 5 pounds. Go meet her. She's adorable. But the strides they've made speak highly on the pride they take in their job, the responsibility they take to the community and serving. So when you consider the Pet Adoption Center and moving forward, I ask that you also consider the work they put in every single day to make this community better, the relationships they've built, and also the work the staff has put in behind the scenes, trying to make sure we're getting what we need and everything like that. So I do want to say thank you. Thank you for touring the facility, Councilman Robinson, and I encourage all of you, I'll be happy to meet you up there whenever. I think we met on a Tuesday, I think, but come and see it and see the difference they make, because it is huge. So I look forward to the next 10, 20 years, and thank you all very much for the opportunities y'all have allowed me to have.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is boards and commissions. Discuss and consider appointments to the airport board. This is going to be handled by City Secretary Don Stahl.
Yes, Mayor and Council, the roster for the airport board is in the packet. Harold Wilson and Sarah Hatley have both served 3 terms. They are not eligible to be reappointed. Those 2 positions will need to be filled, and this falls under the oversight of Rick Carmona.
So, council, I'm going to ask that we postpone this item till our next meeting, please. Make a motion to postpone the appointments to the airport board.
A second.
Have a motion, have a second. Have a motion from the mayor, a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem District 4, to postpone item 5.1. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda, discuss and consider park board appointments and reappointments. Again, Don Stahl.
Mayor and Council, in your packet is the Terrell Park Board roster. Patty Yoakum, Charla Mitchell, Savannah Nordstrom, and Dwight Malone. Their terms are all going to expire in May, and they are all eligible for reappointment. And we have had 1 resignation, Kelsey Weibel, so that will leave 1 open position on that board, and this falls under the oversight of Mayrani Velasquez.
At this time, I'm gonna, is there any reason why we can't postpone this item? Is there another meeting coming up that would prevent?
Is there? No.
Okay. Then
No, we can postpone to June.
I'm going to postpone until June. Thank you.
Okay. Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Mayrani Velasquez, District 3, a second from Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, to postpone item 5.2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item on the agenda is 5.3, discuss and consider zoning board of adjustments, appointments, and reappointments. Again, City Secretary Don Stahl.
Mayor and Council, the Zoning Board of Adjustments roster is in your packet. Hayden Avery Shaw, Dr. Kamika Hoskins, Michelle Cheney, and Claudia Frosto. Their terms will expire in May, and they are 3 of them are eligible for reappointment. Dr. Kamika Hoskins actually has served 3 terms. She is not eligible, and this falls under the oversight of Phil Robinson.
I'd like to motion that we reappoint all those eligible here, including Ms. Shaw, Dr. Hoskins, and Ms. Cheney. Wait, Ms. Hoskins is termed out, correct? Okay. Ms. Cheney and Ms. Frosto.
So Shaw, Cheney, and Frosco.
Correct.
Okay.
I'd like to motion that we reappoint all 3 to the Zoning Board of Adjustments.
All right. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from our Mayor Pro Tem, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, District 5, Phil Robinson, a second from Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, to reappoint Shaw, Cheney, Frosto to our Zoning Board of Adjustments. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. Next item on the agenda is 5.4, discuss upcoming meeting calendars.
Mayor and Council, we included in the packet for you this evening the calendars that we went over at the last meeting. I just wanted to bring you up to speed that on there was a budget work session scheduled for July the 11th. There is a conflict, and we're going to have to find a different date for that. And then for your June meeting, we have a meeting scheduled for June the 3rd, and I will not be here for that meeting, but we will still be having that meeting. There are things on the agenda for that evening that need to occur that night.
Okay, good. Who will be, do we know who will be setting?
My recommendation is that we have Becca
Anderson.
House.
Becca?
She changed her last name. It's now
Oh,
House.
you're right.
But yeah, she was the designated acting for when Mike Sims was in place, and I've already talked to her, and she's willing and she's available. So
Okay,
we'll
good.
have her for you next Tuesday.
Perfect.
Or the Tuesday the 3rd,
June 3rd.
June 3rd.
Yes, okay. Anyone else? So, the meeting that we're rescheduling,
The 18th of July needs to be
the 11th.
scheduled.
I'm
I
sorry,
mean, isn't it July? Is there a July?
July the 11th?
Oh, yes, I was going to suggest the 18th. Or I could just, I'm available, but I just dropped that date in there.
Does that work for everybody, the 18th? Okay. All right. Check your calendars for July the 18th. If there's a conflict, please let Dawn know. If not, then we'll try to make it the 18th. All right? Our next item on the agenda is discuss and consider resolution number 2225, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, establishing the initial charge from the City Council to the Terrell Citizens Academy and providing an effective date. Senior Policy Analyst Omar Mata.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you, we bring Resolution 2225. In your packet, you have the same presentation, the same application that I presented last council meeting. Everything is still the same. I will point out the schedule for this. We are hoping to launch this in the fall with a start date of September 11th and ending on November 13th, hoping that Mayor and Council, you would be at that graduation on that November 13th. It is a Thursday. And all of these departments' presentations are subject to change. We're still going to be working a little bit on that, making sure department heads are available, facilities available, et cetera. But other than that, everything stays the same, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Omar?
I don't have any questions for Omira at this time, but as I've continued to do research on the academies, my recommendation and motion will be to add like a proof of residency. So I'd also be open to hearing why we would not require that for the academy, and then removing the background check.
Yes, ma'am. The proof of residency, we do have on the application that they will have their address, and then we will make sure to go through, verify their address, that it is within the city limits of Terrell before moving forward with their acceptance of the program.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? All right, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2225 without the background check.
Motion, is there a second? Second. We have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, District 3, a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem District 4, to approve resolution number 2225 and taking out the requirement to do a background check. Is that correct? Yes? Okay.
Can I inquire-
Discussion.
Can I inquire what the reasoning was to remove the background check? What was the thinking there?
Well, I know for the
And I can
police.
speak to it when I was doing.
Come forward.
When I was doing research on comparing academies throughout, like the North Texas and Texas area, there wasn't there were very few, so I'll change my word, very few that required a background check. That's why I was also open to hearing from staff on the reasoning for requiring a background check. The other thing that I noticed was specifically written out in other city academy applications was the proof of residency, to make sure that we're taking in community members that could hopefully, serve on boards and take our community members first before maybe others who work in the city. So those were the two items that stood out, that either I saw in the application that weren't in the majority of other city applications for academies, or we weren't within specifically the instructions like proof of residency, although Omira mentioned it's something that's included in the application and they would be reviewing.
Yes, ma'am, and I will just add to that, the reason that was brought up in the first place was the police academy that Captain Bulin kind of takes over. I had a discussion with him and kind of asked him what the reasoning for that as part of the police academy was. And so we went through that process. So depending on how deep they wanted to go on their night of the Terrell Citizens Academy may or may not require that. But one of the things that he brought up was they do a firearms, and then they also have access into the building itself, the police station headquarters. And so that would be something that would take into consideration. But with taking out the background check, we can definitely leave that out, and it would just be kind of a basic, which, again, the interest behind that would be that citizens would take the Terrell Citizens Police Academy for a deeper after this, and then that they will also serve on boards and commissions. That would be the goal.
But to be clear, residency only means that you're inside the city limits.
Correct. They would have to be citizens of inside the city limits within one of the districts. Yes, sir. And I believe, Dawn, do you have a way to verify that other than like making sure that they live where they
Address?
say they live? Verifying that? Okay, yeah, so we do have a way to actually verify that they live at the address that they're giving us more say. Yes, ma'am.
Good. All right. Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is 6.2, discuss and consider resolution number 2226, renaming the unnamed walking trail at Breezy Hill Park to Charles F. Phillips Senior Walking Trail. This is going to be our interim city manager, Mark Mills.
Mayor, council, good evening. I thought it was best to do the presentation from here this evening. I'm very proud to be able to bring to you this evening the hard work of our naming committee. I have 4 recommendations for you this evening. These are the first 4 recommendations that come before you. They've actually made 2 more, but those were related to streets and have to go through P&Z. So they're going through P&Z this month, so you should get 2 more in the month of June. For convenience, this evening, I'm going to just run through all 4 presentations for 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, and 6.5, and then you would take separate actions on each of those. The first one is Resolution 2226. This is a proposal to rename the unnamed walking trail at Breezy Hill to the Charles F. Phillips Senior Walking Trail. Charles Phillips was born on April 4th, 1936 in Quinlan, Texas. He was a graduate of Burnett High School in Terrell. He served with the United States Army for 2 years and the National Guard for 25 until his retirement. He served as chairman chairman of the Deacon Board, president of the Male Chorus, and served on the Finance Committee of the Shiloh Baptist Church. He was the first African-American postal carrier in Terrell, and he held the position for 29 years until his retirement. According to the naming committee policy, an individual should be deceased 3 years before they are nominated for naming. There is an exception in the policy that if they are not deceased for 3 years, the committee by a 2/3 majority vote of all members, not just those present, can recommend waiving that. Mr. Phillips passed away in 2023, so he's 1 year short of the 3 years, but they voted at their meeting to waive that. We sent out 30 total letters. What we did is we took the boundary of Breezy Hill and went out 200 feet. So anybody that owned property within 200 feet of Breezy Hill was notified and allowed an opportunity to come speak. We also posted it on our website, and we posted it in the newspaper as well. So we held a workshop on May the 7th, last Wednesday. We had 1 letter in support and 1 speaker in support, and wanted to bring this forward this evening for your consideration. That one's Resolution 2226. Item 6.3.
All right, thank you.
I'll say I can continue, or we can just take them one at a time, whatever's easiest for you.
Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on the renaming of the walking trail at Breezy Hill Park? Anybody have any question? Okay. Is there a motion on resolution number? Yes.
We'll have
Comment?
discussion later.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So this is a discuss and consider. Is there a motion on resolution number 2226?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2226, the renaming the unnamed walking trail at Breezy Hill Park to Charles F. Phillips Senior Walking Trail.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, a second from Phil Robinson, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem of District 5, to approve resolution number 2226 as presented, renaming the unnamed walking trail at Breezy Hill Park to Charles F. Phillips Senior Walking Trail. Is there any further discussion?
I just need to make a note. I am a member, active member of Association of Breezy Hill Park, and just for clarity, I even saw the letter of support. That individual has my maiden last name, so I just want to recuse myself.
Yeah.
And I think the council members can make a good decision based on that, but I do know all of these people and how they participated in our community, and I'm very, very supportive of that. And I just need to recuse myself because of the position I hold at Breezy Hill Park.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Thank you. So duly noted in the record that Councilwoman Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem from District 4, will be recusing herself for just this item or all of them?
Any item that deals with any naming of the association at the
At
Breezy Hill Park.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously of those present. Next item on the agenda is 6.3, discuss and consider resolution number 2227, renaming the unnamed community center at Breezy Hill Park to Loretta Hickman Gibson Community Center. Again, interim city manager Mark Mills.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, the committee did an excellent job going through the process. We held a workshop on May the 7th, Wednesday of last week, where community members were allowed to come in and speak. Similar to the walking trail, we notified individuals that own property within 200 feet of the boundary of Breezy Hill, not just the facility being named. We sent out a total of 30 letters. We received 1 letter in support. There were also speakers in favor at the workshop. All speakers that attended were in support, and the committee voted unanimous by all members. The vote was unanimous by all the members that were present at the meeting. Ms. Hickman Gibson was born in 1957 in Terrell. She loved serving others and spent most of her career working as a CNA in her free time as a volunteer. She worked at Madix Manufacturing, where she coached the Ponytail League softball team, as well as the Blue Jayettes, as an effort to help keep young girls off the streets. She offered mentorship, warm meals, and a safe place to stay for the youth in the community. She helped many secure vital benefits, including food stamps, housing, and Social Security. She served on the citywide usher boards for over 20 years and was an active member of both the Highland Baptist Church and Bethlehem Baptist Church. Ms. Gibson joined and served on the Association of Breezy Hill Park from 2017 until her passing. And she passed away in March of 23. This was another individual where the board took action and voted by a 2/3 vote of total members to waive the 3-year requirement for Ms. Hickman Gibson.
Those of you who didn't know Loretta, she was something.
Dynamite.
We miss her. I do want to take a moment and ask, are we going to be putting up a plaque? Will the city do that, or is that Breezy Hill? Or how are we working?
The city is going to put something up. We have a naming committee meeting on Thursday. We're going to talk to the naming committee of what their thoughts are. Not necessarily letting them make the decision, but we're going to have Glenn Caldwell from Public Services available so we can talk about some options for getting identification for those locations.
The trail and
The trail
okay,
and
good.
the building, as well as the ball field that'll be the next item, and the soccer fields, which is 6.5.
Okay, cool. I think everybody would be in favor of doing something like that. Right. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this item? Is there a motion on item 6.3, Resolution 2227?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2227, renaming the unnamed community center at Breezy Hill Park to Loretta Hickman Gibson Community Center.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, a second from Mary Ronnie Velazquez, District 3, to approve resolution number 2227 as presented, renaming the unnamed community center at Breezy Hill Park to Loretta Hickman Gibson Community Center. Again, is there any further discussion? For the record, there will be a note, did not vote for Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem District 4. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried unanimously, vote of present. Next item on the agenda, 6.4, discuss and consider resolution 2228, renaming the unnamed dugout and field complex at Breezy Hill Park to E.P. Shaw Memorial Complex. Mr. Mills.
Mayor, council, similar to the other two items, we identified properties within 200 feet of Breezy Hill. The park, the entirety of the park, we sent out a total of 30 letters. Staff received one letter of support. There were also speakers, so all of the speakers attending spoke in favor of the renaming. I would be remiss if I didn't identify the individuals in the audience this evening that are serving on our naming committee facilities. The individuals, if I miss someone, I apologize. Jessica King is the chairwoman of that committee, and she's with us this evening. Mr. Leonard Lancaster is also serving on the committee, and he's in the room this evening as well.
Yes, I saw him back there. Good to see you.
So this naming would rename the softball field and the dugout to E.P. Shaw Memorial Complex. Mr. Shaw was a World War II veteran. Upon his return from serving in World War II, he dedicated his life to the advancement of education and began his career at Burnett High School. As an educator and assistant principal, he played a pivotal role in integration in Terrell High School. He was an active member of the Terrell Renaissance Club as well as the Kiwanis Club. And Mr. Shaw is honored on the Terrell's Wall of Honor as an individual who has significantly contributed to the city's progress and empowerment of its citizens, and he passed away June 25th, 2019.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Mills? Hearing none, is there a motion on resolution 2228?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2228, renaming the unnamed dugout and field complex at Breezy Hill Park to E.P. Shaw Memorial Complex.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, a second from Phil Robinson, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, District 5, to approve resolution number 2228 as presented, renaming the unnamed dugout and field complex at Breezy Hill Park to E.P. Shaw Memorial Complex. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Again, there will be a did not vote for Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem District 4. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, vote of those present. Next item on the agenda is 6.5. Discuss and consider the renaming of the unnamed soccer fields at Ben Gill Park to Sergeant Brady Berry Memorial Soccer Complex. This is going to be resolution number 2229.
Mayor and council, for this item, we followed the similar procedure. We sent out letters to anyone that was in owned property within 200 feet of Ben Gill Park. We sent out 40 letters. We also included it on our website and in the newspaper. Out of the 40 letters, we did receive one letter in support, as well as a speaker that addressed the committee and supported the renaming. This recommendation was brought to the committee for consideration by a community member who is in the audience this evening. I will not bring her up and embarrass her because she has spoken on this several times. But she thought it would be appropriate because of his love for soccer that this be considered. He was born September 5th, 1979 in Dallas. He was an extraordinary soccer player and grew up playing soccer here in the city of Terrell. Staff Sergeant Berry was a 1998 grad of Terrell High School. He was tragically killed in the line of duty. In honor of his memory, the Terrell Soccer Association held a memorial soccer tournament in his name for many years. There has been a request that, and I don't recall the exact date off the top of my head, but that the dedication and signage for this be dedicated in October to coincide with his passing.
Got it. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Mills? Hearing none, is there a motion on Resolution 2229?
Motion to approve Resolution 2229 for the renaming of the unnamed soccer fields at Ben-Gil Park to Staff Sergeant Brady Bear Memorial Soccer Complex.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Have a motion from Phil Robinson, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 5, a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem District 4, to approve Resolution 2229 as presented, renaming the unnamed soccer fields at Ben-Gil Park to Staff Sergeant Brady Berry Memorial Soccer Complex. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to say
Yes.
it's not often that I read our agenda items and get a little emotional, but in this case I did because I knew Staff Sergeant Brady Berry when he was younger, and he was a heck of a soccer player, unbelievable. And this is such a great honor to bestow upon him. And I didn't know him well, but I do know that he was just he was an extraordinary soldier. And I've talked to many people who knew him and speak extraordinarily highly of him. And I think this is a great honor. So thank you, Facilities Naming Committee, for bestowing this honor. It's very meaningful.
Okay. Thank you, Council.
I want to make sure it's noted, I did not mean to leave Brady out earlier in my remarks there. But growing up, although I did not play soccer, I had many friends that did, and they were all pretty involved in the tournament there as well. So.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote is present. Our next item on the agenda is 6.6, discuss and consider mowing from FY 2023 to FY 2025 for TxDOT right-of-way, City of Terrell, right-of-way of the City of Terrell, Terrell facilities. I guess it's going to be our Public Services, Glenn Caldwell.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I think we've had plenty of time to really review how we approach our entryways throughout the city. But before I get into the mowing, I would like to publicly acknowledge, again, the outgoing city manager. I don't care. He doesn't like it, but I'm going to say this. I have probably the longest tenure with you, I do believe. And I want to say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you've done for this community. Thank you for all you've done in my career. May God bless you all your days and your family. Okay. Thank you. All right. So we are here. I'm not going to have very many comments related to TxDOT mowing. I'm primarily here to hear what direction the council would love us to proceed in. I'll flip to the most important page in the presentation, I do believe. So here's some history on our options. You've seen this before. Here's our TxDOT right-of-way mowing costs that we've discussed on multiple occasions. And I think we're going to pause. Did I get that right? I think we're going to pause here. 2023, we spent $200,000 on TxDOT right away. Obviously, we know that the budget was quite substantially lower than that. FY24, we had to revise the budget to $240,000 to overcome deficits in maintaining TxDOT right-of-ways. So our goal today is to listen and receive input and direction. And I'll pause there with any questions related to this item.
Ben, I can tell you, I know that this council, to a person, has heartburn over right-of-way mowing, especially TxDOT right-of-way mowing. I acknowledge that. I fully acknowledge that. However, residents of the city of Terrell, people who are just going through the city of Terrell, visitors of the city of Terrell, people who are coming for our festivities on the weekends, like the Taco Festival. They have no idea whether it's the city of Terrell's right-of-way or it's TxDOT's right-of-way. All they see is that it isn't mowed or isn't maintained, and it puts a bad look on the city if they're not well-kept. So, we have a decision to make. Do we want pristine look when you come into the city of Terrell?
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I believe that all the rancor that people have when they say, why doesn't the city do this? I think those people should make noise with Texas legislation, okay? But this is what I learned, thanks to my colleague, Councilwoman Holmes Thomas. In 1996, the state of Texas and several cities, not just Terrell, made memorandums of understanding, or MMAs, memorandums of agreement, that because the state of Texas was not able to mow their grass, that cities would help them by mowing the grass in our city limits. And if we needed help, we could call and ask for help, and they would help us. I've learned that TxDOT does not have the equipment or the manpower. All they got are those cute little orange ones that roll around. And all those big ones you see out there, they can hardly afford those are contractors. They said they can help us twice. They're supposed to do it at least twice a year, and they're having a hard time doing that. So yes, I understand that we would like to have pristine. However, I talked to Glenn about this, and I think we should think outside the box and go with wild areas where they are like, you don't mow the grass, but it's like a garden that is, it's like the Queen's Garden. There's a garden that is just like allowed to grow with tall grasses, and you throw some seeds in there, it's got some flowers. I'm not a horticulturist, so that's a very bad description. I'm just saying, in light of the fact that we're coming into June, and we are going to have a tight budget, that there is an option of, let us make those roadways more of gardens than just cutting the grass. I mean, where it needs to be cut or bushwhacked, we can do that. But if we have spaces, and Glenn's going to drive me around, if we have spaces that can be turned into wild gardens kind of thing, I am very bad at describing this. We should maybe, to cut down cost, we should think about that. But TxDOT, I was really giving TxDOT a hard time, but they really are in a bad way.
So, I guess my question would be, because it's TxDOT right-of-way, do we have discretion as to what is there? Can we do dryscape versus grass, or, as the councilwoman suggested, wild, native type growth there? What's there?
Mr. Mayor, I would agree with her. There are opportunities to implement programs in certain areas. Obviously, if there's vehicular traffic, intersections, I think,
keep the grass low.
there should be some sense of a 25-foot buffer that we maintain for clearance of visibility, vehicular, from safety standpoint. That would be my recommendation to consider.
I think she summed it up well. I was really disappointed after we spoke with TxDOT, because what the memorandum says, it's like, you can call us to help you. If we can, we will.
But they don't have.
And they can prove that they can't because they don't have the equipment
Right.
or the resources. So it's crazy. But I do want our right-of-ways to be safe for our community members as they drive and maneuver through town. So I would support anything that could help us with the cost and defer some of that maybe to the beauty of wildflowers or something, like you said, dry scape or rocks and those kind of things that we make and deter some of the grass growing.
Glenn, am I correct that if we do take that on, though, then it becomes our responsibility to maintain those sections that we've decided to change the landscaping in?
Not necessarily.
Okay, legally, it's still a TxDOT area to maintain.
Still, that's correct. What we would do is we would notify TxDOT to potentially not mow during their 2 cycles that they do come and mow, so that it's consistent with the beautification, right?
Okay.
But if we decide, hey, it's time to mow it all down, that's our opportunity to get it done, to do a fresh start. So there's 2 sides to this.
Okay, because I thought the last time we discussed this, we had noted that if we change the landscaping, it becomes our responsibility to maintain it. No, that's not the case.
No, sir, it's not.
Okay. The other piece I wanted to bring up regarding this then, though, is from a safety standpoint, I come from a firefighting background, and one of the things that you run into during the summertime when this stuff gets grown up and it dries out, you get massive amounts of grass fires that are dangerous, that spread like crazy, and it's just it's not good. So we got to knock this stuff down. We can't just let it grow and be unruly and cause all kinds of grass fires. But that being said, it does give me a lot of heartburn, for us to take on some of this. Do we have some pricing or some estimates for what it's going to take to do some of this landscaping to make these changes?
We do not. We have not done that research.
Haven't explored it yet? Okay.
But if her perspective, keeping her thoughts and recommendation, it's not very expensive to buy, a bag of seeds and chuck them out there and mow, maybe within the intersections. I mean, it wouldn't be really expensive at all.
Do we have a good feel for what happened within TxDOT, why they used to be able to mow this and maintain it, and suddenly they can't? What's occurred?
The budget, the Texas budget, as long
What changed
as
in the budget?
the budget, okay, this is how it was explained to us. There are more priorities than cutting grass. And the only time he cuts the grass is if someone yells at him.
Wow.
So they have, and just because they say 2 cycles doesn't mean they're going to do 2 cycles. But they pretty much are holding their breath until the end of this session because they don't know how much they're going to lose.
I like what Councilwoman Holmes Thomas had to say about having our folks here in Terrell who can be very vocal when they're displeased about something. I think we all know. Harnessing that. What if we were to put up a sign saying this area maintained by TxDOT? And then they know it's like, okay, this is TxDOT that they're not managing.
That is that is an option.
I like that.
That is an option.
I guarantee it would. They'd be hearing about it then.
We might need them down the road.
We'll have them prepared.
Did I hear you, Glenn, say that in order to, add the flowers, et cetera, turn it into more of a landscaping opportunity, that we would first need to mow, everything would need to be mowed first before you could do what was proposed by Councilwoman?
That would definitely be my recommendation. Once over, then we throw out some summer seeding for flowering, and it's pretty common practice. They do it quite a bit in the larger cities. Austin, if you go on Mopac, I believe the highway, there's several highways. They're doing it all over Texas right now. So it's an opportunity, something to consider. I would ask council to consider when you do if you decide to take action tonight, just for grins, consider taking no action tonight, or choosing no action, and let us utilize the current budget that we have, so that if we end up having to mow, we don't have to come back to council with can we mow or can we not mow? So we can maintain what we have at the point that we're at.
I think that's a reasonable request from staff, is to say, let's keep the same budget, and then that way you can come back to us when you really need some decision-making, right?
Yes, sir.
What would get you through this year's cycle? Is there a number that you've got? If we cut back some mowing and then we came up with a plan for next year, on how to handle, and then when would you, I mean, is there something we could do in the winter to prevent some of this, or, you know, I don't know.
There is a product that you can purchase to stunt the growth of the grass. TxDOT use it on their right-of-ways now. That's something we can start
Look at
assisting them
option,
with.
yeah.
By doing it in-house or getting a contract to spray it, and it definitely reduces the growth.
I think
That's
we
why you
need to
don't see
look at
high
all the
growth on
options. Put them all
on
out there.
highways.
Put all the options out there with different scenarios and let's look at it and see.
Okay.
Are we good with not taking any action on this item and then just telling staff?
Yes.
Move forward with the budget, the current budget?
I am, Mayor. I would like to make a request of staff that we explore the idea of, communicating what's going on publicly so that sort of the citizens know, they understand the challenges. This would probably be an Allison situation. Just kind of letting them know what the challenges are and why we're doing what we're doing, so they're not just looking at this stuff going, why aren't they managing this? What's going on here? So there's some data put out there, some information put out there about what's going on.
Okay.
All right.
All right, can we do that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda. Well, this was a discuss and consider. Do we need a motion to, let's table it. Can we table it? Or,
Take option 2, Mayor.
No action.
Take option 2 on there, no action.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
okay.
The motion.
I'll make a motion for agenda item 6.6, for it to be a no action item.
All right, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem District 4. A second from Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, to take no action on item 6.6. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried unanimous vote of the president. Next item on the agenda, 6.7, discuss and consider task order number 3A and 3B, Reconstruction Services Pet Adoption Center. It's going to be Raylan Smith.
Okay, we ready to talk about cute little animals? Remember, I always bring you cute pictures of all the puppies and animals, just to kind of help remind you all of the steps that we've taken. In your packet, we went back and talked a little bit about the required physical holding capacity, to talk about the number of kennels that we were working to get into our new facility. We did have quite a bit of the storm damage that was reported at 6160 Highway 80, which is the former Pet Country Spa. And so there was a determination, and a copy of that letter was also in your packet regarding the rebuild and the costs for that renovation. This was a renovation of that building. It was broken down into 2 phases. However, after the storm damage, it was determined that both phases would have to be built out, and the construction cost would have reflected as such. So we brought to you option number 2, which was a brand-new facility at 1100 Highway 34, which is right there adjacent to the police headquarters. So what we have is a building that is built exactly for your current needs, plus we get a 20-year build on the building based on your kennel counts. So there you have a footprint of what the facility would be there at Highway 34. Here is a picture of the proposed exterior of the building. You have your runs there to the picture just on the left-hand side. This building is designed for adoption services as well as a shelter. So you have plenty of kennel space for both cats and dogs. There's just another picture of your exterior facade. Like I had mentioned, this was the letter from WRA and Core Construction that talked about the renovation cost and the damage that was done to the existing building, which is why we had looked at doing a brand new. Once we went through the programming with the animal shelter staff and the police chief, you did get a estimated construction cost of the new facility for $6.1 million. Not to fear, because we have already met and done quite a bit of the value engineering. And what I'm most excited to bring to you tonight is, of that original 6.127, we have had volunteer dedication of the $262,000, which would take care of your landscaping and irrigation, your artificial turf, fabric shades, and fencing. So we have had a commitment from the volunteer group for that. Also, through work with Core Construction and WRA, we were able to make some staff recommendations for cuts within the building. So we're getting it down to 5.6 when we look at having that transfer switch rather than a generator on site, targeting some of your light fixtures, some of your cables within the wall. I just wanted to list these individually so that you know the steps that staff took to really try to dig into the pricing as we looked at the overall build. One option that I wanted to bring forward to the city council, because exterior facade is such a hot topic here, the removal of the brick veneer, if we decided not to go with the brick veneer, which would meet our masonry requirements there along the front of the building, that's also a savings of $66,000. So I want to be sure and point that out also. And as promised, I wanted to bring to you some updates with the Certificate of Occupancy 2023C. I'll take you back to December 3rd, which was the last time I brought you the CO allocation budget. You have all of your projects there listed on the left-hand side. In December, those were the assumptions for the project cost. So now at this meeting, we have gone in and I'm showing you the expenses and the encumbrances to date for each one of those projects, what our current balance is for each of those projects. And on the May 13th recommended allocation, we have been able to absorb some of those partnership funds, which you did receive some reimbursements from. We also have money coming in and money going out on the partnership with the Terrell State Hospital entrance road. So that will always show, that will just show as expenses, but it will balance out to zero because those are expenses that we'll be getting back from TDHS. So looking at your budget, I did go ahead and plug in the $5.6 million for the pet adoption construction, and you are sitting in the black with your CO 2023C. So we've come a long way since December. We've made really good strides with all of our projects. Apache Trail is finishing up. Fire Station 3, of course, is under construction, and we continue to monitor those contingencies. Fire Station 2, we have released the notice to proceed, and most of that was just equipment and materials. Your Newton Street construction is the promised parking lot, and then your design services on the Newton Street, that's where we're holding some of the design services for your RAISE grant. And so hopefully we'll find out about that within the next month or so. So because Newton Street was part of that infrastructure, that's where your RAISE grant design is. Local streets design, that was from last summer's program. So we've been able to go in and kind of level that out. And then we're just holding a little bit of money in case there's other facilities that need to be looked at by CORE. So I'm here to answer any questions about the proposed pet adoption center, or if you have any questions about the CO 2023C projects.
I think that's good news on the 2023C. I like the idea that we're in the black.
Yes.
The funds are available for the pet adoption centers. That's correct, and they're coming out of this CO 2023. So there's not anything coming out of our general funds or anything like that.
Exactly. Yes,
So
sir.
it's basically we have the money and it's paid for if we wanted to proceed with it. And we look at the list, and as you can tell, there's multiple projects. And I tell people this all the time. As a city, it takes a balance of a lot of folks moving parts to make this city move forward. And you can't just be focused in on one area, but you got to look at the big package. So does anybody have any questions here for Raylan?
The one thing that I did want to point out is the action item tonight is for task orders 3A and 3B for WRA and CORE. And so we've kind of broken this down like we did Fire Station number 3. So this next level of task orders, you have completed your schematic design on this building, and so we would finish out with complete design bidding documents. And the next time I would come back to you, we would have actual bid results. So the next task order, you would once again get to see the final pricing coming in and get the opportunity to vote again. But this task order would take us all the way through bidding.
Are you comfortable with the Pet Adoption Center project?
I am. I think they've done a lot of work. I think that they have looked at this as a true upgrade to what they have, and made some tough decisions to make it work. I really do.
Okay.
And as we grow, the design is there on the left side, you said to expand?
Yes, ma'am. So what we will do is we will expand from the rear of the building where you see the kennels down there on the far right-hand side. The back portion of that would expand. And so what you would do is you would add kennels there.
Are we going to sell the property that we had, when this is done, are we selling the other stuff so we can put some money in the bank?
That property would definitely be able to come to you for sale. Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
So I think this is very exciting. I'd like to understand, if we did go with a new facility, what's the timeline you're looking at as far as how long it'll take to get it turned around, up and running, and actually operating?
So we really think that it's going to be about 18 months. Whenever I was talking to the team last week, there are some true advantages of getting them in sync with some of the contractors who are still going to be there at Fire Station 3. So they've put all their thinking hats together to make sure that we can get the bidding out in time, that hopefully your interiors start matching up and we're not double dipping on both projects, but that we can hopefully save some money on services.
Gotcha.
So we would essentially be back on track with Fire Station number 3 is the goal.
Gotcha. My concern is 18 months, we've got a lot of challenges with the current facility. I toured it recently, and I'd like us to hopefully do some things to kind of mitigate our current situation until we get to a point where this new facility is constructed. Some things I observed in my tours, the roof is severely damaged and leaky at the current facility. The heating and cooling is terrible. So these guys working in the heat are working in, 90 to 100 degree weather, just indoors, not to mention the animals being in there in the heat. They're having trouble with being able to fully disinfect the kennels because they're cinder block and that's porous. They should be made of tile. And some of these things I don't think would be that expensive to correct. Something like just putting some tile in a few of the kennels. You know what I mean? That's not a dramatic expense. There's an issue with the cameras currently in it where, people will drop off, random dogs at the facility and just drive away, which is highly illegal. But the cameras don't work, so they can't even identify who's done it, So we can just help them with the camera situations. They can identify who's doing some of this stuff. Apparently one of them doesn't work at all. One autofocuses randomly and misses things. Things like that we can kind of talk more about. But I just want to make sure we're doing what we need to do to kind of make sure they have a functional facility in the meantime. Mm-hmm. 'Cause we're talking 2 years till this new one's ready. We need to make sure where we need to be now, But that's my only ask. I'm very much in favor of the new facility.
Redline, who would we need to task to get a cost for the temporary improvements for our current facility? Is that something that we could do?
You could do that internally, Glenn. Would you just want to do that through the facilities department, having them look at the building?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah.
If you would, just get a list from
Okay.
councilmen and see what those costs are and let the council know. Anyone else? Mayor Ronnie?
I still have concerns. My community members, when they speak to me about the needs versus the wants, I hear streets, I hear stormwater, I hear drainage, I hear safety, and I have been a supporter of the Pet Adoption Center. When I have visited in the past, I have shared those concerns with city administration and have supported with work that needed to be done to address the facility. And I think we all heard today that there still needs to be work to address that facility. I also heard from your community member today that there's been what I call maybe a bit more, I don't know what words to use, but there's been a lot of work with staff as well to reduce the number of animals that we have and make sure that they are being adopted by community members. So I want to recognize both the work that we've done to the facility compared to what it was a couple years ago and the work that staff have done to keep animals outside of the facility. The CO that we previously approved, that has a number of designations that the funds can go to, which includes local streets, stormwater, sewer, the fire station, of course, that is underway. We have Apache Trail as well, construction there, city facilities. And then when I look at the 10-year capital plan as well, just if we look at just 1 year alone, we have between like $6 million to $8 million just in each year alone that we have put in the capital plan that can go towards roads. And that's not being inclusive of the stormwater, the sewer that also need to be addressed because we are an aging community and we have a lot of reconstruction to do and are putting Band-Aids a lot of the time in different parts of the district. So I cannot represent my constituents well by voting on the wants versus the needs at this time, but I can be supportive on looking at ways that we can continue to improve the current facility, not only for the animals, but for our staff.
Yeah, and that was my concern just initially. We invested into the Highway 80 center, and then it's just like all of a sudden, oh, that's a terrible idea. Okay, the wind hit it, and we had the storm, and now we're in it for $5 million. I was like, God, what happened? Why we didn't even think about that before we invested into that building? That was my frustration, and I voiced that already before, so I wish we just would have planned a little better. But I mean, the weather is the weather. We can't control that, but we have to try to recuperate some of that money that we've spent there to purchase that building.
So,
try to equalize what we're doing now.
I agree 100% with those comments. The cost, what we paid for that facility, 1.5. We should recoup that.
Yes, sir.
Plus. So I think what we can do, that money doesn't need to be pledged to the CO 2023. That's money that we could use for streets if we decided to do that. Is that correct?
It would come in through just
Right.
a revenue.
Depends on the source of funds that you use to purchase the land. It should not be a problem.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's an option for us to look at as we move forward, is to take that money and direct it to streets or sewer or any projects that we got going on. And I think we would all be supportive of doing something like that. I'm not sure. But we certainly need to talk about it.
Well, I'm with Councilwoman Velasquez because I've been beating the drum about, well, all of us have, streets and sewer water. At the same time, how do we balance all of that? That's where I am right now. I don't go to the pet adoption center because I might come back with all the animals.
Well,
you've got that going on, but is there a way we're going to put $5 million into this, and you're saying we can pay for it through the CO, and we do have a problem right now with animals on the loose. People are not getting pets, people are having pets. At the same time, we've got manholes and things that we have problems.
Yes.
So I would like us, when we go into the June budget, to make sure that we take a priority of infrastructure repair. Knowing that I'm learning about these COs we have in the background, but if we're all going to be committed to infrastructure, water, sewer, wastewater, and all that goes into that, then we need to have a strategic plan that says for the next year, for all of our districts, to show to our constituents that we're making progress in those areas, that we have a plan on where is the money going to go, so we have something to show in 12 months. It's not going to happen, we're not going to do all of Terrell, but if we can do some part of each of our districts, the city as a whole, and put that in a strategic plan that we're going to spend this much money to fix storm drains. I remember those pictures that DJ showed us on how bad things are, but I think we can do this and plan for the future.
Yeah, let me get us back on what our discussion item is. These are task orders 3A, 3B. I think staff understands that our infrastructure is important to us, so at our next budget retreat, that's what we want to focus on, but what we've got before us right now is task order number 3A, 3B, pre-construction services for the Pet Adoption Center.
Mayor, if I may make
Yes.
one more comment, I just want to really publicly just really reject the idea that what we're talking about is a want versus a need, because this Pet Adoption Center is a need. If you visit the facility, you will see immediately this is a need. What we have currently is not adequate in any way. I was kind in my description of it a moment ago. It's a disaster, and it needs to be corrected. It's a black eye on our city, and I think that unless we do something about it, I mean, we're opening ourselves for real problems down the road. It's got to be addressed. No one's beating the drum more about infrastructure and streets and drainage than me. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about it, but this is something that has to be fixed because it's absolutely necessary and in dire straits. Just making the case there.
I would also note that staff has come to us with the idea that we're also going to have some cost savings by moving forward with this. And if we can do it quicker, we can take advantage of the fact that Corps has their people here and they can work on both. Is that correct? And do
Yes,
some savings
so-
there as well?
Yeah, so
So we
this,
may not have an opportunity like this. I'm thinking if we delayed it, the cost would go up.
One additional thing, Mayor, something you and I were discussing, I wanted to bring up, and since we have someone from the Facilities Naming Committee here as well, the idea of potentially, if we do move forward with the structure, perhaps naming it after Canine Max. The Canine Max Memorial Pet Adoption Center would be, I think, a really fitting tribute the May and I were talking about earlier. So,
Good idea.
I have a
know I asked
question.
this before. What's our current facility, the square footage? Because this is 6,300 square feet.
1,600 square feet? 1,600.
So I'm thinking it's like, can we build a new one? But does it have to be this lavish? And does it have to be 3.5 times bigger than what we have to
So
be?
Based upon the kennel calculations, that's how we ended up with the kennel size in the back. We kept the staffing to a minimum, which is where all the offices and stuff were in front. What we were trying to do was make sure that we did the target capacity for your 2035, so that based upon all the growth that we have, we know it will at least get you through the 2035 population. So we were trying to make sure that those kennels, and the other thing is we had talked about, okay, so, can we shave off 5 feet from the back? Like, how do we keep coming in one row at a time at the kennels? And it made sense whenever they explained it this way. Really, where you save money is that entire block of kennels. So when you rebuild, you would add another block of that. So when we were trying to squeeze it in or take out a certain amount of kennels, we really weren't seeing the savings there. So we tried to do other savings, like even in the cabinetry, we looked at, do you need double stack cabinets? Trust me, we have gone through every room and just to know that there's plenty of room for staffing and volunteers, and we're very proud about that. But it was the kennel counts that we were really trying to get to. And I do just want to reiterate, y'all will have the opportunity. What this task order would do is this would seal up your final design for this building. And y'all went through this with Fire Station number 3. It puts bids in your hands so that you know exactly how much this building is going to cost. And you have a fully designed building. So the request tonight is for the $231,250.
That's a not to exceed amount of $231,250.
I have a question.
Yes.
Mayor. This is for, say, our finance numbers expert, Mark Mills, interim city manager, for the CO 2023, where the 5.6 would come out of. If 5.6 million are not expensed on the pet adoption center, then can you remind me where else we could use those $5.6 million? What are we allowed?
I do not have the official statement in front of me, so I can't tell you off the top of my head what the purpose is, but whatever the purpose is, whatever the listed purpose on the official statement would be the areas that we could utilize that. But I just don't have it in front of me.
And from what I recall, it was, and I'm looking at like a snapshot of CO 2023 allocation and spending report, where we list the fire station, we list the pet adoption center, we list local streets, we list city facilities. So those would tell me that those are at least some of the areas that we could spend the money in.
Yes, anything that is on your list, whatever category that would be. So Apache Trail would cover streets, so we wouldn't be spending money on the Apache Trail if streets weren't included in the purpose. So it may be more specific. It's going to be, streets. It's going to be probably fire station, pet adoption center. The buildings would be specific, but yeah, what I'm used to in other organizations that I've been in, the way that I believe it's structured here, it's going to be, if streets are on the list, like Apache Trail, that's going to be under the purpose, so you're going to be okay to spend the money on that as well. But I can get you a more detailed listing of what that purpose is, if there's any specifics.
And the other areas that I'm seeing under CO 2023A, 2023B listed here for the allocation and spending report are pump station and ground storage capacity, utility relocations, replacing water mains, more water mains, construction of WWTP's, our water plant. So what other examples of utilities as well that the city has that this money could be spent on?
Generally, it's listed under public infrastructure, and then it gives some examples.
Okay.
So I even did the math. This is 85 feet short of 4 times what we have. And with that being said, but you said you looked at everything, all the space is needed, it's necessary. We can't go from 1,600 to 3,800, because I'm looking at this. This is 2025, and we're building kennels. It's going to take 2 years to build. That's going to last to 2035. We got 8 years. I know that facility's old. I toured it a year and a half ago, and it needs some improvements. We need something, but I'm just looking, 6335, 6315, 4 times that is 6,400. 85 feet short of 4 times. I mean, it's got to make sense. And then you're talking about, okay, this is only gonna be good to 2035. 25 is almost gone. And so we're going to get about 7.5 years before we.
One thing that we did learn through the process is when you look at operationally where they're at right now, just the desk space, the staffing, it's really not just only the kennel numbers, but there is not adequate office space or any place for the volunteers to go. And so, just going through the programming, it does add up.
How old is that building, Raylan? Does anybody know?
How long have y'all been there?
Been here my whole career.
Yeah.
35, 38 years.
He's
Right.
really old, so yeah. Really
So-
old.
So I guess something that we should consider is back when that facility was taken over and made for pet adoption, we probably didn't have the rules associated with pets that we do today. The reason why we've having to increase the square footage is to comply with some of the state regulations and federal regulations associated with these adoption centers. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, it's a very fair statement.
Okay.
A lot of that goes through the review.
So it's not so much that the city itself, and hey, there's no
No, it's
better
hard.
group than this group right
I
here.
know. No,
of
it's very
questioning
hard.
why we do things and what we're doing. So their hearts are in the right place. I'm just saying, it wasn't the chief saying, hey, I want the dog facility to be the X number of square foot. It was just.
We didn't ask for
just-
the Taj Mahal.
Right.
We did lots of cuts.
So we're doing the best we can in maintaining and watching how much we spend.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Did you guys even check this based on our numbers now? What size facility would that need to be? Did y'all do that study or research?
So your current numbers, your total kennels needed are 17 today. So 2024, we were calculating 21 kennels.
And 30, you need, what, 27?
Yeah. And we'll be up to 36.
Okay.
And what you also notice is that your kennel numbers don't double over that time, because what you do hope is that you've put some systems and programs in place that even as your town gets bigger, you actually don't have the same problems that you have now. So a lot of that goes into your calculation as well.
Okay. All right. This is a discuss and consider item. This is task order number 3A, 3B, pre-construction service pet adoption center, not to exceed $231,250, coming out of the CO 2023. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve task order number 3A and 3B for pre-construction services of a pet adoption center.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Phil Robinson, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, District 5, a second from Donna Renee Anderson, District 3, to approve the task orders 3A and 3B in an amount not to exceed $231,250. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
And the mayor votes aye. Motion carries 3-2. Next item on the agenda is consent agenda. We may take all or one of these at a time. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, a second from Phil Robinson, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, District 5, to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is to receive our monthly reports. That's a STAR report. If you would, council, please reach out to staff on that one. And at this time, we're going to adjourn in executive session in accordance with Section 551 of the Texas Government Code to discuss the following: Section 551.074 personnel matters, and Section 551.8087 deliberations regarding economic development negotiations. We are now in executive session. This time, we're going to reconvene into regular session and consider action, if any, on items discussed in the executive session. Are there any motions? Hearing none, we are adjourned.